Hey, what's up? This is Todd Smith and I'm back with another video. In this video I want to talk about the Juno-X. I've owned it for 2 weeks now and I want to talk about, was it worth it? Was it worth the price tag? Because I didn't get it donated to my channel, just like everything else in my channel, I bought it with my own money. So I'm very much speaking in the manner of a person who has purchased it just like anybody else will in the market. And for that price tag, do I feel it was justified as a purchase and happy with it as a synthesizer? If you want the simple answer and you don't want to watch the rest of the video, yes, I definitely believe it was. I have zero regrets investing $2,000 into the Juno-X. I feel the price tag is justified and even on par with other options in the market. And on top of that, you get some really juicy Juno goodness right at your fingertips, very easy to play with. There may be some people out there that say this isn't a Juno, it's just a cloud, it's just some digital BS. But there's more than enough people online that have showcased side by side. And when it comes down to it, I mean, this is a new Juno. A Juno that pushes in whole new directions, adding various other digital models and capabilities and pianos and other sounds from various engines of Roland's era, and the ability to actually dial in your noise control for your chorus on your Juno. It allows the ability to stack like 4 Juno sounds and have the classic Juno chorus on all those layers and not get overwhelmed with just noise and static. A little noise can add some texture, but once you start stacking some of that Juno noise, it can get pretty overwhelming. So you really do get a modern digital Juno. And yes, there could be slight fluctuations in maybe filter controls and there's little things about the analog that are going to sound different. But when it comes down to the average user and what they're using it for, there's going to be very little to no difference between the Juno-X and the Juno Classic. And then you gotta take in the fact that if you want a vintage Juno, you have to maintain that. Once something goes wrong with your classic Juno, you're talking about some pretty hefty repair costs from pretty limited people that can do the repair. This new Juno-X is gonna last you for years. I mean, you can say what you want about the choice of Roland's digital and analog, but their gear is built to last. Pretty much all the pieces from that brand that I've really just used daily, in and out the studio, never gave me any problems. One of the biggest attacks against this machine is the cloud. How this machine is stuck in the cloud, and that is one of the most kind of pathetic arguments out there on the table, in my opinion. Now that I've owned it and I've got to experience it for 2 weeks, you don't need a cloud nothing for this machine to shine. You could never plug this thing to any online anything, and it's worth the investment out the gate with what it has right here, right now. The cloud is just an option to make it a more modern experience. I myself have invested into the cloud. I'm now dabbling into it, getting the experience with the 707, with the Juno. At this point, I have 2 pieces of gear based on Zencore, so I figured why not dabble into it and see what it has to offer. I can always cancel at any time. But then again, I must stress it's not needed. You do not have to push that aspect of this gear to have it justify the price tag, in my opinion. It just adds another layer and another reason to maybe go this direction. Sound-wise, I mean, I'm just gonna say I think it sounds absolutely amazing. You might not agree. That could be, we can disagree on that one. Spectacular right out the gate. I've been blown away at what I can just layer. Very much, in my opinion, the strong point of this machine is the ability to quickly layer sounds into just amazing patches. They gave the fast tweakability of the Juno control with the ability to layer 4 instrument parts. You can create some really big thickness, and it's really hard to hit the limit of the voices on this machine. If you push 4 parts and you get really kind of long envelope stuff, long release, then you can start to stumble on that experience. But overall, you can create really thick sounds, play some really big chords, and you almost never fall apart when it comes to voicing. Then you come in with, my opinion, a really good build, some XLR outputs for your audio, and the whole scene section is really just built for live performance. This thing is just itching to be on stage in a professional's hand, and I'm pretty sure many Juno-X's will find their way onto the stage in many bands. I can see many people who are touring musicians who actually own vintage choosing to take this on the road rather than their classic vintage that God knows how much it takes to repair, how much harder that is to deal with on the road. For me, it's going to be a very big workhorse sound design keyboard for many years. I mean, it's a pleasure for me to just create these atmospheric, really thick pads and basses, pianos, all sorts of things can really just vibe out of this machine. And it can touch on all other aspects of kind of like the 303 and things that the Juno could just never do. So the Juno-X, 2 weeks later, to me, feels like a great investment. It's definitely something I don't see myself ever selling. It's something I can explore and enjoy for many years to come. If you're into keys, you're into live performance, and you're into sound design, and you want to easily create layered sounds with the complete span of Roland's kind of legacy at your fingertips with some new added abilities of Zencore, and you want that instant control of the Juno, this makes the perfect master keyboard for you. It is pretty safe to say you're going to see the Juno-X on my channel for a very long time, but in the end, the Juno-X isn't for everybody. Not everybody needs a big, massive keyboard that is built for layering sounds and sound design and maybe a little bit of live performance, sequencing, ARPs, and splits and things like that. Not everybody needs that. That is the great thing about today. We have tons of options for everything to fit all your needs. The hardest part can be really finding what's you and where you vibe and what is good for you. The Juno-X is great for me, and if you have bought the Juno-X, is it great for you? Did you regret it? Did you not vibe with it? That's something I'd really like to hear, the other side of the spectrum. I'd love to hear your opinions, and as always, stay positive, stay creative, support each other, and peace.